Most people don't realize this, but their lives aren't truly their own. They wake up each day already reacting to their past, to someone else's opinion, to fear, to pressure, to noise. They scroll through highlight reels, compare their lives to strangers, and call that normal. But here's the truth Marcus Aurelius knew 2,000 years ago. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So the question is, what's been quietly controlling your life without your permission? Because freedom doesn't begin with a revolution. It begins with awareness. And today, we strip away the 5 illusions that have been running your life from the shadows. Not with rage. Not with blame. But with reason. And the quiet strength of a Stoic. Part 1, the past, a prison you keep walking back into. We all carry a past. But the Stoic asks, why do you choose to relive it? What happened, happened. Maybe it broke your heart. Maybe it shattered your trust. Maybe it left a scar that still stings on quiet nights. But here's the truth, pain is part of the human experience, dwelling on it is optional. Marcus Aurelius wrote, forget everything else. Keep hold of this alone, the present moment. Yet so many people drag the weight of 10 years ago into today. They replay conversations they can't change. They refeel betrayals that already happened. They wear their regrets like armor, as if guilt could somehow rewrite the past. But here's what the Stoic knows. The past isn't just gone. It's untouchable. It cannot be fixed. It cannot be relived. And if you let it, it will steal your present and poison your future. Ask yourself, right now, what story from your past are you still giving power to? Maybe it was a childhood wound. A failed relationship. A mistake that cost you more than money. But understand this, you are not what happened to you. You are how you choose to respond to it today. You can't walk forward while staring at the rearview mirror. And you can't build a better life if you're still mentally trapped in an old chapter. Let go. Not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. In the words of Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So react by rising. React by refusing to be defined by your darkest day. React by showing up, right now, as someone who's stronger because of it. Your past might explain you, but it never has to define you. You are not your pain. You are not your failures. You are not your story, you are the author. So stop letting old wounds write your next page. Burn the script if you have to. Start again, from this moment. Because this moment is all you ever really have. Studio Microphone Part 2, Other People's Opinions, The Silent Puppeteer. How many dreams have died? Because someone was afraid of what people might think? We grow up in a world where external validation is king. You wear the right clothes. Go to the right school. Work the right job. Also, you can fit neatly into a mold someone else made. And before you realize it, you're not living your life anymore, you're performing in someone else's play. Marcus Aurelius asked, why do you care what they think of you? Do they even care what they think of themselves? Think about that. So many of us bend, twist, and shrink ourselves to be liked. To avoid judgment. To keep the peace. To not stand out too much, because being fully ourselves feels dangerous. But here's the Stoic truth. Other people's opinions are not your responsibility. Their praise doesn't make you better, and their criticism doesn't make you worse. What matters is how you see yourself, when the lights are off and the room is quiet. Seneca warned that when we let public opinion guide our choices, we lose our personal sovereignty. And what is more tragic than a free soul choosing to live in chains? People will always have something to say. They will misunderstand you. Project their insecurities onto you. Judge you through lenses clouded by their own regrets. Let them. Your task isn't to convince them. Your task is to be so grounded in your values. So anchored in your inner peace. That the noise outside no longer stirs the storm inside. When you stop seeking permission to live your truth, you start living with power. Remember this. Most people are too busy worrying about how they're perceived to truly be focused on you. And even if they are watching, so what? You weren't born to be palatable. You were born to be free. Free to speak. Free to stand. Free to walk away. Free to say, this is who I am. I won't apologize for it. And in that freedom, you'll find something rare. Peace that doesn't waver when the crowd changes. So ask yourself now. Are you living for yourself? Or for a version of you the world told you to be? Because the day you stop living for their applause is the day you start living for real. Part 3. Limited beliefs, the cage you built for yourself. There's a silent killer more dangerous than failure. More powerful than criticism. More limiting than any obstacle you'll face. It's the voice in your head that says, you can't. The Stoics called it false judgment, when you mistake your own assumptions for truth. Epictetus taught, it's not things that disturb us, but our view of them. What if the biggest thing standing in your way isn't the world, but the way you see yourself? Somewhere along the way, someone may have told you, you're not smart enough. You're not leadership material. You weren't made for that. And without even realizing it, you swallowed those words whole. You made them part of your identity. Not because they were true, but because repetition creates belief. And belief, left unchallenged, becomes a cage. But here's what the Stoics knew. You are not your past. You are not your upbringing. You are not what others failed to see in you. You are your actions, right now. You are your choices, your will, your reason. You are the inner citadel, as Marcus Aurelius called it. The fortress of mind that no outside force can conquer unless you open the gates yourself. So let's be honest. Where are you still playing small because you think you're not ready? What goal have you buried because a younger version of you got laughed at for dreaming it? When you believe your limitations, they become real. But when you examine them under the light of reason, most of them fall apart like shadows in the sun. Here's a Stoic practice. Next time your mind says, I can't do that, ask, who told me that? And were they even right about themselves? Because if the answer is rooted in fear, comfort, or past rejection, that's not a truth. That's an old wound masquerading as wisdom. The Stoic doesn't deny difficulty. They just refuse to be defeated before the battle even begins. Seneca once said, it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult. Courage, then, is not loud. It's the quiet decision to try again. To think differently. To expect more of yourself, not because the world demands it, but because you do. Your beliefs are either the ceiling of your life or the floor of your potential. So choose wisely. Because the moment you stop believing the lie that you are small is the moment you become unstoppable. Part 4. Relationships, when love becomes a crutch. Let's be honest. There's nothing more human than the longing to be loved. To be seen. To have someone say, I've got you. At the end of a hard day. We crave connection. We build families, chase soulmates, stay up late on dating apps. All hoping to find someone who makes the chaos feel worth it. And yet, how often do we lose ourselves in that search? How many people do you know who stay in relationships not because they're happy, but because they're afraid of being alone? How many sacrifice their identity, their voice, their peace, just to keep someone by their side? Here's what Stoicism teaches us. Love deeply. Connect fully. But never depend on another soul for your own wholeness. Because the moment your happiness is tied to someone else's presence, your peace becomes negotiable. Marcus Aurelius put it simply. You don't control what others say or do. Only your response. But when we forget this, we start making choices out of fear. Fear of being single at 35. Fear of not having a date to the wedding. Fear of what people will think if we leave. So we stay. We settle. We give pieces of ourselves away just to avoid the silence. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud in suburbia or over Sunday brunch. Loneliness is not the enemy. Dependency is. The Stoic understands this. It's okay to want love. But you should never need it to feel enough. You should be able to walk through your own front door, alone. Pour a glass of wine. Play your favorite song. And know, deep in your bones, that you are still whole. Still worthy. Still home. Because when you stop needing someone to complete you, that's when you're finally ready for someone who can complement you. A relationship should not be your life raft. It should be two people, both capable of swimming on their own. Choosing, every day, to swim together. So love without losing yourself. Give, but don't disappear. And remember, it is not a weakness to walk away from what is hurting you. It is strength. The right people will never require you to shrink. They'll meet you at your full height. And rise with you. Part 5, Money, the master that was meant to be a servant. In America, money talks. Sometimes, it screams. We're raised to believe that success looks like a 2-story home. A new SUV in the driveway. A vacation twice a year, preferably with ocean views. And if you don't have those things, you're falling behind. We chase salaries, promotions, side hustles. We measure our worth in digits. We trade peace for paychecks. And then we wonder why we're exhausted, anxious, disconnected. But the Stoics would ask, at what cost are you selling your soul? Seneca once wrote, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Read that again. It's not about what you lack. It's about what you think you need in order to be enough. Many people in this country have 6-figure incomes and 7-figure emptiness. They make every decision based on money. What job to take, who to marry, even what to believe in. And they call that success. But here's the Stoic truth. Money should never be your compass. It should never be the reason you stay in a job that kills you slowly. It should never be the excuse you use to silence your intuition. You need money to live. But you don't need it to feel alive. When you chase money without purpose, you become a prisoner of more. There is no finish line. Just another raise. Another upgrade. Another debt. But when you live with intention, when you pursue meaning instead of just income, the money may still come. And if it doesn't, you've still won. Because you kept your soul intact. Ask yourself, are you chasing wealth? Or are you building a life? One brings stress, comparison, and insecurity. The other brings freedom, regardless of your bank account. Epictetus, who was born a slave, said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. So let money be what it was meant to be, a tool. Use it wisely. Earn it honestly. Give it generously. But never let it decide who you are. Because when you lead with purpose instead of profit, you don't just make a living. You build a life that's worth every second of it. So here we are. 5 silent forces. Each one subtle. Each one powerful enough to steal your freedom, if you let it. Your past, whispering that you'll never escape what hurt you. Other people's opinions, shaping your path like invisible hands. Your own limiting beliefs, building walls inside your mind. Relationships, when clung to out of fear instead of love. And money, when it becomes your master instead of your servant. But the Stoics left us a different blueprint. They didn't promise comfort. They didn't chase pleasure. They chased virtue. Wisdom. Strength. Peace. They believe true freedom isn't granted by the world. It's claimed by the soul. And that freedom begins the moment you say, I will not be ruled by what I cannot control. Not the past. Not the noise. Not the fear. Not even the system. You get to choose, right now, who you will become from this point forward. So be bold enough to live differently. Be still enough to listen to your own voice. And be brave enough to walk a path that the world may not understand, but your soul knows is right. Because in the end, a Stoic life isn't about being cold or detached. It's about being grounded, unshakable, free. And when you finally stop being controlled, you finally start living.